Letters and emails obtained by the WCPO-9I team reveal that Bengals Vice President Troy Blackburn says negotiations are at an impasse. WCPO-9I team reporter Paula Christian tells us what the Bengals want and what they say the county isn't doing.
Bengals Vice President Troy Blackburn actually suspended talks with the county this past summer. He accused the county of trying to sabotage the team, and in a letter to the county just last week, he said the situation stands very much at a precipice. In that letter, Blackburn says the county and the team are at an impasse and reminds County Administrator Jeff Aludo that 61% of citizens voted to pay for the stadium in 1996. Aludo then responds by email that he is perplexed by Blackburn's tone and hopes this will change as progress occurs this year. But attorney and ex-city councilman Steve Gooden says negotiations are about to get very tough.
And they're probably going to play out to a certain extent in public. I mean, which is how it needs to be, but it's a tough way to negotiate anything.
Gooden has been following the lease negotiations and who pays for the expensive renovations to Paycor Stadium, which is owned by the county.
The stadium, is beginning to show its age. It's beginning to feel dated. There's no question that major upgrades are needed.
Blackburn says the stadium needs more than $300 million in repairs just for deferred maintenance. The stadium is now 25 years old and desperately needs help. Fans need working escalators. Networks must be able to broadcast games from the stadium, and the list goes on. That's what Blackburn wrote in a July 16th letter, accusing the county of violating the lease by not making payments. Blackburn takes it a step further in an email 2 weeks later. We are suspending any ongoing discussions with county representatives, which have proven useless. We are simply out of time.
It's been 30 years, but there are still people of my generation, older and a little younger, who still have major heartburn that we have a taxpayer-funded stadium.
Aludo appears to be sticking up for taxpayers in this July 31st letter, saying the county has spent more than $175 million on the stadium and the Bengals since 2018. He accused the Bengals of being the ones to violate the lease by selling naming rights to Paycor without the county's advance approval. In Cincinnati, Paula Christian, WCPO 9 I-Team.
In separate statements, the Bengals and the county say while there are areas of disagreement, both sides are continuing to talk about a new lease and renovation to Paycor Stadium. The WCPO 9I team will continue to dig for answers to the questions that you're asking about those negotiations. Sports anchor Caleb Noe is joining me live. He's outside Paycor Stadium right now. So Caleb, anytime this discussion surfaces, the primary question that arises among fans anyway is, are the Bengals going to stay in Cincinnati? Should fans be concerned?
Well, look, I think when you deal with situations in the present, it's important to look at situations in the past, see if there are any past precedents that apply first. And you really don't have to look too far. If you've been around long enough, if you follow football, you know that this type of situation happened in Ohio. And in the grand scheme, it wasn't that long ago. 30 years ago, back in 1995, the Cleveland Browns, they left town basically overnight. Right, the team's owner at the time, Art Modell, had been in negotiations for years with the city of Cleveland, wanted a new stadium, wanted upgrades, didn't get it, so he moved the team to Baltimore, where they would eventually become the modern-day Ravens. This is part of an interview from 13 years ago, shortly before Art Modell's death, where he explained his thought process at the time of the move.
They're pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into the Science Museum, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but ignored us completely. Maybe they took me for granted, I don't know. But it was not an easy decision to move, not at all. At the highest levels of government, state, county, and city, I was told, you'll be taken care of, don't move. I didn't get a fair shake by people who were in the position of giving me a shake, fair or otherwise. I did not get a fair shake. I got the short end of the stick.
Okay, so it has been done before. However, 1 year after the Browns moved to Cleveland, or moved to Baltimore, I should say, in 1996, the state of Ohio enacted a new law known colloquially as the Art Modell Law, and it's designed to make it difficult for team owners to move their teams if they play in a tax-supported stadium, which the Bengals do. In order for the Bengals to move, they would have to do one of two things in accordance with this law. They would either have to enter into an agreement with Hamilton County to do so, or give 6 months notice, but in that 6 months, the county or anyone within the county would have the opportunity to buy the team. So the Bengals could initiate a move at some point if they so wish to. However, Hamilton County would have the power to stop that, as well as the people within Hamilton County. They'd have the power to stop that. Now, just to be clear, the Bengals as a franchise are valued at north of $4 billion. Here outside Paycor Stadium, Caleb No, WCPO 9 Sports.
All right, Caleb, lots of information. Thanks for that. And you can read the emails between the county administrator and the Bengals vice president, Troy Blackburn, in full. We've posted them in this web article. It's on the homepage of WCPO.com. Makes for some interesting reading.